Hi, I'm here with Shelly Berman Rubera. And Shelly, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes. Hi, Sean. Thanks for being with me today. My name is Shelly Berman Rubera. I am the president of Small Business Results, and I am a business strategist and coach.
And we were talking earlier about the challenges that pretty much all businesses are facing, but since you specialize in helping small business owners, can you just summarize those pain points?
Yeah, I mean, in everyday life, we suffer from being isolated. We don't have the time, the energy, or the budget to put into getting the resources we need. So isolation is not only a business owner issue, it's literally a cultural issue. We're very, very alone, and more today than ever before. We're overwhelmed. We really don't know which marketing tactic to take, how to find the clients, how to keep the clients, and really, how do you make your choices when we're living chronically overwhelmed? And the third issue is that I see is that no one's really making enough money. How do you build a small business so that you're not always worried about the revenue? And the last concern on a daily basis, normally we have to think about money, but in today's world, health, but in today's world, we're not only thinking about isolation, overwhelm, revenue. Now we really have to think about how do we do all that and not challenge our health.
And of course, there's the concern for the client's health and just health of everyone you're involved with.
How do you network? How do you be with people? How do you not get someone sick? How do you not get sick? How do you not bring it to your family? Yes, the risk is huge.
Yeah, I just got an email from Megabus. I guess I was stuck on their email list, and they sent a whole long email about how they sanitize their buses. So everyone that has a budget for this and has people hired for this is sending out messages about how they're caring for the health of their clients and each other. So small business owners, they have the ability to be flexible and to act in these situations, but a lot of times they don't have the sophistication of a corporation to send out these email blasts and know what to say. So what are some of the, not just for that, but for all the problems you mentioned, what can people do right now?
I mean, isolation is a crippling feeling. It's a crippling issue. So finding ways to network virtually, reach out to colleagues, reach out to affiliates, who is utilizing your product and service that you could actually create a reciprocal relationship with. Finding ways to address the isolation is huge. The overwhelm also requires reaching out to someone that knows what they're talking about so that you're not spending all your time researching, not knowing which is a trusted resource. I mean, part of what happened today in the pandemic, there's more free. I have clients that are saying this. There's so much free being offered to me. Now I want to take all of it, and I haven't got a clue which thing to listen to or which thing to believe.
Yeah.
So developing trusted resources, and creating revenue stream really you have to take a solid look at your key revenue streams and understand that there's the low-hanging fruit, what's going to bring in money right now, and what has a longer sales cycle. And when you create those key revenue streams, that is what actually creates your marketing strategy. Now you know how to go after the low-hanging fruit to feed your cash flow, but you also know it takes a little bit longer in terms of strategy, AdWords, email marketing. But
it helps you manage expectations, but it helps you prioritize because you just keep on going with what's working, especially in a crisis. Maybe when there's no crisis and everything's good and the bank account's full, you might start experimenting and innovating and putting some money in places just to see what it'll turn into. But during a crisis, you're just like, well, let's just focus on what works.
Well, sometimes we don't just keep focusing on keeping going. Sometimes we keep going with a hope and a prayer. But I think in today's world, we really need a strategic approach. Well, I'm just going to keep going. And I admire that tenacity, but without strategy, it's kind of like throwing spaghetti against the wall and hoping that it sticks. Need a strategy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you talked about solutions for being overwhelmed is to really just focus in on the trusted resources. For the isolation, it sounds like you're just supposed to reach out as much as you can and maybe brainstorm a list and write them all down, and then think about what kind of emails and calls you can do. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I mean, I give you an example. I had a networking meeting this morning with someone that does search engine optimization, does websites, but what he can't do is he really needs someone like me to speak to the client at the beginning and help them with their positioning and their messaging. And so how can we be, and I don't do search engine and I don't do website development, so how can I partner with someone that has what I offer and vice versa and send leads to each other? So it's not just me or you direct to the marketplace, it's building a revenue partner that can refer to you. And actually, what are we talking about? We're talking about building trusted relationships.
Right. And then you're not wasting time with doing the research and stuff. So really just focusing on trusted resources, trusted relationships, and trusted revenue streams.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So you were talking about having clarity about where you are. What did you mean by that?
So I think when people get into crisis, oh no, the bank account is empty, or oh no, I need more clients, or what are we going to do? Panic action, we call it. That it's done without looking back at a real understanding of where we are now. Who's in my database? How much money is in the bank? What does my business look like now?
And this is actually a good time to do that. Everything's slowed down, so you have the opportunity to do an evaluation.
And you know what? I don't mean to just be like the bright and shining star, but I do think people have the right to take a pause, not get up at 5:30 every day, not work all day every day. It's an unbelievable. We'll never have this time again where we're not back on the let's get going. So taking a pause is great, but there's never going to be a time like this to think about who you are, how you're showing up, how you're going to make money, how are you reaching people, and to use this as a time to really redevelop the wheel and to take a look at what's working, let's capitalize on it, what isn't, and let's get rid of it. Never have a time like this to figure it out.
Right. And how do you use psychographics? Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, psychographics really has to do with that your offer matches the needs and wants of the client. And so how you may be positioning yourself 2 weeks ago or before the pandemic, or even going forward since we're going virtual, how does your articulation of your message and marketing fit what clients need? And, I'll give you a quick example. There's an awning company that I work with. So I just completed some market research. What does the market look like for them? And holy cow, awning industry is going to blow off the charts. The future is golden. Why? Because the focus is that people are going to stay home. They're not going to go anywhere, too many places this summer. They're not traveling. They may not even rent their summer house. So the home industry of beautifying your home, finding ways to sit on your deck and in your yard under an awning is off the charts. So it's really taking a look at right now, what does the client need or want, and how can you position your offer to match it?
And how do client communications play into that?
Well, I really believe that client communications is the key to everything. And you said it at the beginning of our conversation. In the normal world, I would say, once a month email is fine. You don't want to saturate your list. But in today's world, an email every 2 weeks keeping the client, staying in front of the client, letting them know what your plans are for opening or reopening. How are you going to keep your staff safe? How are you going to keep them safe? What are your policies? The government actually gives you a lot of this, but you can translate it into everyday lay language for your clients. But one salon that I worked with, and I get their email, they have been emailing their clients every week. Miss you so much, keeping you posted, can't wait to get back. Here's a tip for doing your hair while we're out. They've done an unbelievable job at client communication. And I have other clients that have said, everybody gets an email. They don't need another email from me. And
it's the worst attitude for marketing.
Worst attitude for marketing. Need client communications on your social outlets, on your website, and email marketing. And, one of the things that's also interesting is, like money, the challenges around money, people have the same challenges around their database. And I'm like, woohoo, now is the time to get your database organized and get in front of them.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So, if people are feeling isolated and they don't feel comfortable going out, doing the networking, what are some options for remote networking and masterminds? And you're telling me that masterminds are the future, and why is that?
I'm telling you, I heard a Tony Robbins, Dean DeGrazia webinar the other day, and they said that the wave of the future is groups and masterminds, which was most exciting because I just launched 2 groups. And I feel that being a part of a group where you are connected to other people, sharing thoughts and ideas, learning from each other, realizing that you're not alone. The minute you if you have a bad elbow and you say, why me? Oh, my elbow, why me? But you put yourself in a room with 6 other people who have bad elbows, all of a sudden it's not so bad. Someone else shares your pain. And that's very true for group dynamics. You and I have talked a lot about the value of being connected to other people. I think what I'm offering at Small Business Results is unique. Again, people shy away because you buy these groups, they send you 12 modules, you're on your own, and then you spent all that money and you're like, okay, I'm still sitting here by myself trying to get this done. And while my groups are virtual, they're human. They're very human, interactive. Well, I'm only taking 6 people at a time. It's a limited time, it's 6 weeks. And the goal is to get you what you need, including each other.
So how does that work, and what do you focus on?
So I have 2 groups. One is the business development group, and it's based on a strategic framework that I'm the founder of. The program is The Truth About Succeeding in Business Today, and it's broken into 6 steps. And the 6 steps are commitment, focus, differentiate and market, building relationships, managing the sheer emotion of it all, and being accountable for your results. And that is a 6-week program. They're both 6-week programs, but each week we work on a segment so you end up with a fully structured business system. The second,
I can imagine that the accountability part is important in a group, because if you're just holding yourself accountable, you don't tend to do it. But when you show up and other people are going to ask you, hey, did you meet your goal? Did you do the thing you were supposed to do? It motivates you.
And shames you.
Yeah.
You don't want to come back to the group saying, oops, I didn't do my homework. I mean, the part of it, that's why the bookends of the company are commitment and accountability. You're making a commitment to doing something different and growing, and you're accountable for the results. And the middle part is getting the information you need to do so. The second group is focus, execution, and accountability. So we as business owners walk in, including me, and your whole desk is organized, where do we begin? What do we do? And the goal of the focus execution group is to come to the group and get clarity about what are the most important things you need to do, and gain from the group and I as a facilitator how to get those things done. If you don't know
objectivity, some tools.
And then you have a week to get at least 3 things done and come back and talk to the group about what you did and how it moves you forward. So that's what I believe, that when I look at what would I sell, if you sell 12 weeks, people, like, it's a very long commitment. Do I want to commit to being somewhere for 12 weeks? 6 weeks is manageable, priced right. But like you and I are very passionate about small business and entrepreneurship. The synergy between you and I is that we really are dedicated to giving the small business owner what they need to cut the curve of learning, to be successful, and to see, literally from my perspective, small business results. That's what they're looking for. How do I do this? And how do I do it in a way that I can see results now?
So if they're the type of person who's feeling isolated, they're looking at their desk and their papers and their files and their to-do lists, and they just feel overwhelmed, having that group, either one, but it sounds like the second one's really good for the focus and accountability, where they can just talk to people about, this is what I'm facing, this is what could be something that I focus on, this is another thing I could focus on, and this is my choice, my dilemma, and they can get some objectivity and some insight from other people. So how does that work? Is it a Zoom meeting? Is it an hour long? How does the structure work?
So the business development group does have a structure. There's a module each week. Every week you get your, step 1, step 2, step 3. It's in a fillable workbook. They're 2 hours every week with homework, with a workbook, and it's 2 hours via Zoom. And limited to 6 people, so everybody has an opportunity to talk and share and learn. The focus, execution, accountability, there is a structure, but it's really defined by what the people need to learn. And that's also very fun. So someone might say, I'm getting no response from my email. So the learning that would take place within the whole group, right, would be to teach how to do an effective email, and then everybody could turn around and execute it. So you find unified priorities and then get them to execute. And you and I have
and then you learn from each other.
We have the ability to also say, and if you can't get it done, we can get it done for you.
Oh, yeah, right. They can delegate things that just aren't a match.
Which is a huge learning, because you need to learn to delegate as a small business owner too.
So what's the difference as far as cost and time commitment and everything versus like private coaching? So what if someone's trying to decide, should I do private coaching or should I join a group?
The group is much more cost effective. 6 weeks, 2 hours a week. The price of it is $1,200. And it actually includes an hour of private coaching over the course of the 6 weeks. So at the end of a week, you might say, I need to ask her some questions. You can do a 15-minute call, or you could wait to the end of the whole program and do 1 hour to kind of solidify your direction. Both programs, 6 weeks, only 6 people in a group, $1,200 with an additional hour of private coaching.
So for private coaching, you get more customization, you get more help in that moment, but it is $200 an hour. So you get 6 hours of private customized coaching for the private side. And on the group side, you're probably getting a lot more hours of benefit.
It's double.
It's much more, at least double.
But it's also more because the groups that I run, the people in them are so connected to each other that you now also have. I'll give you a great story. In one of the groups, there was a photographer, food photographer, and she had unbelievable equipment for her company. Then there was another young woman who was starting a photography still company, not food. And we were at the meeting and she said, I got this great opportunity, but I don't have the lighting and the equipment for it. What did the other woman in the group, the food photographer, say? I have all that equipment. I don't mind lending it to you. Phenomenal, just phenomenal. One of the other groups, there's a woman who ran a big restaurant, and there was a woman who just left corporate America in human resource, and she was having problems with her team, the restaurant owner. And she said, just call me. I don't need to charge you. We're in the same group. Let me give you some strategies for handling your team. The networking and the teaching of each other, because we're committed as a group, my experience has been, I walk away and I'm like, the synergy. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the synergy. And part of that I'm going to say is me, because I am fostering relationships. I'm fostering people to ask. It's not easy for you or I either to ask for help. Not easy.
Right.
But in a group, you are very connected. And also, Sean, people start with the business development group and they say, I don't want this to end. And they flip into focus accountability. Or people are in focus on accountability and they say, well, you know what? Looks like I need more structure in my business. So they flip into the small business development group. And they grow their business. They grow as owners. They grow their business.
Nice. How can people just learn more if they want to dig into the structure and the process?
Well, you can reach out to me, Shelley, SHELLY, at smallbusresults.com. Or you can also go to my website, Small Bus Results, and look under the coaching page, and you'll see the one-to-one, the group coaching, and the other couple of offers. Do you want to talk about something else special that you and I do together while we're on, or do you want to leave it at the groups? Would you like to talk about interview video marketing?
Yeah, we can mention that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so basically what you and I have been doing right now, and what I do on my channel, is I interview people, and it's a great format for getting people who are camera shy, or maybe they're not tech savvy, or they don't know how to get their marketing message out there. You and I have created something together so that I can ask the questions and you can help them develop the questions. And so what do you think is the most powerful thing about this whole interview marketing?
So I think there's a bunch of things. And I'm not saying that I don't struggle with it myself. It's part of why people like me, because I have no problem being transparent. Getting yourself in front of this camera, knowing that video is the most important marketing thing today. There's other things, but it's very important that people connect to a face, a voice, that you become a trusted personality, a resource. And it's hard to make it happen. We know, but we just don't get it to happen. So not only is video important, but you are a very talented, curious host. And so you have the ability to talk to someone just like you and I are, having a conversation, which makes us very human. And so in offering the video marketing, we feel that it begins with me helping them. It can actually begin with either one of us, but we usually help them create the right questions to be asked. We help them create the right answers and practice the articulation. And then you have those questions now for your FAQs on your website, which are very important today because no one wants to read a lot. And then we create an interview like this. And when they do the video, you're asking them and they're ready to deliver powerful answers, which you then get edited for them and they can use it for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, their website, and now they have snippets of all 10 questions. So I think it's a very powerful medium to get seen and heard, particularly because it's important and particularly because it's hard to get done.
Yeah, when I think about the different options that people have for some kind of marketing project, and they think about, we have to hire some professional videography team to come to our office, and everyone has to wear their Sunday's best and be prepared and be their first time with a microphone and be so nervous, and it costs so much money, or else they think they have to talk to a marketing consulting firm and figure out all their messaging and spend weeks on it. And instead, we just knock this out so fast and so cheaply compared to all those processes.
So I think there's something really important in what we're saying. Generally, we see when we talk about marketing business strategy, we sell one thing. So you and I have now already talked about two things. One is that you can join a group. And I believe my groups are unique and result producing. The other is that within this company, Small Business Results, the video marketing is also unique. and that it gives us an opportunity to create a well-rounded small business offer that combines not only the group, but tools that are offshoots of the group, right? Tools that you can use to, once you have your concept, once you've been able to execute, then how do we get people to hear and see you? And so, what do we want as a result of this? You and I are trying to teach. The goal is to educate and engage. So our goal is to educate you, the small business owner, the viewer, about who you and I are, our skill set, the synergy between us, and how they may be able to get faster results.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes when people are in a crisis and they're watching the revenue go down. They don't want to spend money at all, but you can't just keep doing the same thing that's not working. That's the definition of insanity. So you got to figure out, what is your strategy? How are you going to pivot? How are you going to change what you're doing? And I personally, I really appreciate the fact that connection is one of the answers. Like, you and I network together, we help each other. And so I know the value of that. And then I know the value of video, because for 2 years, the way we met, was through me doing video sales, selling websites. And now that I have the YouTube channel, I'm reaching 32,000 people just from being in my office recording these videos with a webcam, with minimal budget. So I know how powerful it is to reach people.
And you helped me. I got a great webcam. I got a selfie light stick, and I got my Snowball mic. And these little tools, very, very inexpensive, but really changed the quality of the video. And we can help people. That's. Am I in business? Yes, but we can help people, and that's really been working for myself for over 40 years, and the highs and the lows and the challenges, but it's so wonderful to know that you're making a difference in other people's lives.
Absolutely.
That's a goal you and I have, to share the goal.
Yeah, that was my goal when I worked for Weblify, selling the websites. I wanted to help business owners learn how to do digital strategy. And now that I'm doing this YouTube channel talking about politics and spirituality and different topics, I'm not going to let go of the digital strategy and the marketing. It's actually still my day job. I do the freelance digital marketing every day for my clients, and I help them with Patreon and YouTube and all these different things. And so I really think if you and I work together with someone, you can help them with the messaging and the strategy coaching and even the public speaking coaching. And then I can help them with the technical side, with the video and the editing and the strategy of where to put the videos and how to get optimize that. So I really hope that some people who are watching now, who are small business owners, at least send us an email. Let us know what your situation is. Even if you don't hire us, just connect with us, maybe get some free resources that we have on your website.
So a couple of things. One is what you just summarized. I do believe that being strategic, what's the challenge? What's my strategy? And how that ends up, we don't know for each situation, whether it be personal or professional, but asking yourself the question, what is my best strategic approach?
Right.
What is my
You save so much time, energy, and money when you spend a little bit of time and energy on the strategy first.
And I love that. So a couple of things. On my website, there is a block at the bottom that says, tell me your business challenge, and it allows you to just simply tell me what it is. So I'll be happy to respond. Reach out to you. How do they reach you, Sean?
Yeah, they can go through my website. I'll put a link below.
Okay.
Great.
Let's say a little great energy to you, to me, and to the small business world.
Yeah, may God bless you, Shelley, and your groups as you launch them, and also everyone who's watching this, and all the business owners who are struggling with fear, and you can just channel that energy and redirect it towards that strategy.
Strategy. What's my most strategic approach?
Thank you for your time, Shelley.
Thank you very much. I'll talk to you in a bit.
See you later. Okay, bye-bye.